Oh, I see a green light. Does that mean we're live?
No, the green light just means that we're streaming. Now we see the little thing that ticks up on YouTube. It says you're live. And good morning. It's Friday, and we've got you a DRT. We've got you some news to talk about, and well, we're gonna beat up on some Democrats this morning because Jesus, what is wrong with you people? Oh, we missed it yesterday, guys, and I apologize for that. That's my fault. I woke up way too early, which means I fell asleep before we went live, and I just missed the show yesterday. But here we go. We're gonna go ahead and dig into a little bit of this. So, man shot during Saturday morning break-in, deputies say. I haven't even read this one yet. According to the Richland County Sheriff's Department, the man was shot while attempting to break into a home on Great North Road. RCSD, Saturday, March 28th, deputies were called to a break-in happening on the 500 block. Found a man in the driveway who had been shot in the upper body. He was pronounced dead at the scene. That's DRT. Hallelujah. And
If you go
Cameron,
through and you actually,
why do we celebrate the DRTs?
well, it's real simple because when these things happen, this is the best possible outcome.
Correct. White hats matter.
If you go through
Because
and you
when the
read this,
white
if
hats
you go,
matter because when seconds count, the police are minutes away.
yes, if you go through and you read the story, the homeowner actually, there's more than one story in this thread if you keep
Gotcha.
scrolling down.
So this is the
But
whole story.
yes, but there's a funny little line in there where the homeowner warns the bad guy, "I've got a gun, go away." The bad guy responds with, "Then I'm going to use it against you." And so the homeowner shoots the bad guy. Like, couldn't be any more clear cut.
Yeah.
So yeah, don't break into people's houses. And yet again, the myth about good guys with guns never stop crimes has been dispelled.
Utterly.
Can we look at the second one real quick?
Yeah.
This one is not a DRT, but I was highly amused by it.
And they gave us this helpful little map. Here's the break-in locations. An armed man carjacked a motorist, robbed two businesses, and was shot at by a concealed carry holder whom he tried to rob. All within 15 minutes Thursday evening in Rogers Park, according to CPD reports. No one is in custody. So this, like Cameron said, we were talking about this in the prep this morning. Good morning, Danielle. Thanks for tuning in. Oh, I caught your show last night. Good stuff. Good stuff. But this this poor pitiful criminal happened to run into the one concealed carry holder in Chicago. So this is just a great example of, hey, don't do stupid. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes.
Yeah, they tried to rob a Little Caesars and carjack a car, all in a 15-minute spree. And I like how they even have the map at the top of the article so you can see how this all took place within a couple of blocks of everything else.
Yeah.
And then, hey, just a thought, just a thought. Maybe more people in Chicago should have guns. Just a thought.
Yeah, that might actually do him some damn good.
But I mean, it's a big blue city that's one of the most corrupt political institutions. I mean, this is the city where Al Capone just walked around in public for years. Like mm,
Yeah.
they don't have good history there.
Yeah. Yeah, the blue wave has not worked out well for the for the Chicago, like, not their not their good play. Um
Yeah, but they got Barack Obama once.
yeah, and that's doing them a world of good.
Let me be clear.
And just Rod mentioned the SpaghettiOs film in the comments there, so here's a link to our short film SpaghettiOs, which is not unlike our first DRT story. Now that's the DRTs for today, and honestly, that's all I've really got for the DRTs today. I want to talk about this is what we were going to talk about yesterday. There's something else that I want to talk about.
Wait. Rod just made the best joke in the comment. He said they're red states now if you look at the sick maps.
You know, that's it is a funny little thing that all the sanctuary cities seem to be infected with the Wu flu.
The lung pal sicken.
It's all the places where they go out of their way to keep illegals on hand that the bubonic plague is chewing up the locality.
The bubonic plague. That's a new one. I love it. However, we missed our total win yesterday.
We did, and you know, there's only one thing for it. We do it today.
Uh-oh.
Okay, that was unacceptable. The Totar Win sounder froze on me. Let's try that again.
Win. This guy so much sack. He protect, he attack. This why no more homoerotic rocket ranches. Got it? Got it. Oh, jeez. So much wang.
So much wang.
Shotgun shock top with my hot tub monkeys.
So yeah, we missed it yesterday, and I apologize for that. I really wanted to do this yesterday, but it just didn't start off right. I mean, we got to have a little bit of conversation about the man himself, Mike Lindell, and what went down. So, y'all I hope, been watching the president's press briefings every day. Maybe not every day. I know people got shit to do. Oh, wait. No, you don't. Oh, Rod asked, what's that song? What is that song? We'll hook you up, Rod. I'll make sure you get a copy of the whole song. I'm supposed to call Rod after the show today because we got something to discuss. I'll make sure I turn you on to John Ward, the whole song Totar Win, and the story about how I came to use Totar Win for our Thursday plugs. Anywho, Mike Lindell, and this is a little bit old news. It was earlier this week, but he was brought up by the president, and the lefties just went crazy because Mike Lindell had the nerve when he addressed the nation from the Rose Garden with a bunch of other CEOs who were there for similar reasons, which I have not yet described, but I'm getting to. Mike Lindell had the nerve to mention God. Don't forget this. The left hates Jesus. It's that simple. They hate Donald Trump, they hate white people, and they hate Jesus. So much so that if any of those three things, let alone, God forbid, all three of them simultaneously, were to converge at any point, then no Democrat can possibly be aware of anything tangentially separate from those three apparently deeply hateful facts. For example, that a multimillionaire, a self-made millionaire who reformed his drug-addled life through Christ and built a highly successful American-owned, American-made manufacturing business and sales business, has decided to shift his entire manufacturing, not all of it. I think he said something like 80%.
75%.
75% of his manufacturing capacity has been shifted to put out 50,000 masks per day. Per day. Now, that may not put a new mask on every doctor, nurse, and healthcare worker in America every day, but I bet you it puts a damn dent in it.
And
but
yeah,
that a man is sacrificing his part of his livelihood, his business, to help. That he's up there proving that private industry is always the better answer than his government to everything. And yes, roads, military, police, fire, nothing. There is not a single thing other than take a shit on your economic future that can be done more efficiently by government than by the private sector. Not one.
let's be real clear about Mike Lindell, too. Dude was so addicted to cocaine. He had other businesses that failed. His wife divorced him. Like, it was bad. He'd switched over from cocaine to the crack, in fact. That's how bad it was. And then about a decade ago, as Chris said, he got sober through Jesus. And he was an early supporter of Donald Trump, and has mentioned before that he feels like that, you know, this is a confluence of events that God gave us an opportunity to have Donald Trump be the president and clean up some of the rot that exists in our government. And yeah, like if you were to put together a story, like a feel-good story about somebody that started out with nothing, that had, you know, their life was absolutely a shambles, and then they had the turning point, and ever since they had that turning point, they literally transformed everything in their life to the point of being a successful millionaire, it would be the Mike Lindell story. And as Chris points out, this is also a big win for capitalism. There's a theory that says because capitalists are greedy, they'll never do the right thing. Well, I don't buy it. Mike Lindell didn't need to be ordered to do this. He's the kind of guy that's been on hard times and understands, hey, you know what? Probably not going to be selling that many MyPillows right now anyway. Might as well go ahead and do the most good that I can do. And so he converts his factory. We don't know how much this is going to cost him or anything like that, and how permanent any of this is going to be. But he decided to do the right thing. And why? Well, because he is a conservative Christian capitalist business owner. The very things that the new woke progressive left says are just the most terrible, evil things. And yeah, whoops, turns out Mike Lindell's a good guy, so he gets the Totar Win that we were going to do yesterday.
And all of what you just said, and this, he's not the only one. Okay, there's several. There's a long list. There's just the ones that appeared at the Rose Garden that day. Mike Lindell from MyPillow, Darius Adamczyk from Honeywell, Deborah Waller from Jockey, Greg Hayes, United Technologies Corporation, and David Taylor from Procter & Gamble. They were all there to talk about the specific things that their businesses are doing in order to help. Some of them are making masks, some of them are cranking out more hand sanitizer, some of them are working on building, I think United Technologies was switching over production to make more ventilators. It's a big deal. And it also speaks to the founders' intent. Because part of the whole idea of that the founders had, quite separately from whether or not we were a Christian nation, which is a whole nother conversation, but a free people must be a moral people. A moral people, only a moral people, can be free and prosperous. Okay, and that's not to say that free men can't be prosperous without being moral. Individual free men can be evil and prosper. But a people, the people of a nation, the populace, the citizenry, cannot prosper at large in freedom without being a generally moral people. Which is to say that people at large cannot prosper without being generally moral. Because outside of capitalism and freedom, there is no prosperity. There is only poverty and suffering for the vast majority. Outside of a liberty, capitalist-based society, we see it all over the world. There exists only tyranny and poverty. And the only places where there is a mix of tyranny and liberty, outside of America, well, even here now, we have a mixture of tyranny and liberty, which is a delicate balance that is going to crumble before long because it is immoral. And that which is immoral cannot stand for long. Outside of this country, what you see are by degrees more and more tyranny, and the more and more tyranny there is, the more the facade of prosperity shakes away. And the further you get from America and the influence of American liberty, prosperity, and capitalism, the more and more you see people surviving by burning cow chips to build fires so that they can cook cookies out of dirt, just to feel like they're putting enough in their belly to survive on. Mike Lindell is a fantastic example to the rest of us of what it means to be a free and moral people. But what did the lefties have to say about it? What happened when Mike Lindell was invited to the White House to talk about what he's doing? Trump just had the MyPillow guy speak. The MyPillow guy. These aren't press conferences to calm the American people. They're infomercials for Trump and his friends. Oh yeah, that's right, Nick Jack Pappas. That's right, because that's all he said. All Mike did is got up and said, I like Jesus, buy my pillows. Right, just completely ignore that, oh, wait, no, he's sacrificing for you. For you! You slattern, you whore. Sam Stein, I'm a proponent of TV carrying Trump's presser, but allowing corporations to use them as advertising platforms seems like the exact opposite of news. You're a liar, Sam. If you watched that briefing, and this is what you report from it, you did not misunderstand what you saw. You are lying about what you saw because you know that a large segment of our population will hear what you say you saw and presume that you are telling them the truth. You, Sam Stein, are a damn liar. I would go so far as to say I think Steven Crowder used the phrase journalistic malfeasance, and frankly, that should be a crime. Which is not, and I repeat, not in any way a repudiation of the First Amendment. Absolute free speech, absolutist. But when you hear people make the argument, oh, well, we restrict free speech, so you can't say fire in a crowded theater. Yes, you can. You absolutely can say fire in a crowded theater. However, if there's a crowded theater which is not on fire, and you scream fire, and the resultant chaos and panic causes death, you are responsible for that death. Nobody said you can't say fire in a crowded theater. They said you will be responsible for the result of your speech. So, if people believe the things that are said by people who lie, then you should be held responsible when your lies cause results which are deleterious to the American people, freedom and liberty. And I know, Cameron, you've been trying to say words for the last 38 hours while I've been just rambling. Go for it.
Well, I just wanted to ask the question. The basic premise from these lefties is that, oh, all these corporations are basically getting a free platform from the ultimate bully pulpit in the world as a result of what's going on. Okay, seriously, what's wrong with that? No, seriously, what's wrong with that? Okay, let's say two things are happening. A, these CEOs are saying we're going to make these terrible sacrifices or whatever, and then they get recognition from the president of the United States. I don't. Okay, so I mean, you decide you're going to crank out an extra 10,000 bottles of hand sanitizer a day. And the president says, hey, you know what? Go ahead and plug your business a little bit while you tell the country what you're doing to help it. That seems like a pretty fair trade, even from a really cynical perspective. Like, I mean, again, it can't be both. Oh, this isn't a press briefing. This is just Trump's buddy setting up his 2020 campaign ads. Well, okay, again, and what's the problem? The purpose of a lie is to block someone's free will. Yeah, actually, Rod, that's it's pretty good. But anyhow,
and Rod, so Rod brought this up, and I'm going to go ahead and plug it a little bit. Rod said, dude, every church lady in the country would sew masks if they were asked to do it and given proper patterns. Not just patterns. Joann's and I believe several of the other hobby stores are doing a thing where they're giving out they've taken the material, they've already cut it. They've got their seamstresses and their people. They've already cut the material into the shapes of the masks, which is basically all that needs to be done. The basic surgical masks, not the N95s that have the filter in the middle of them, but the basic surgical masks that our medical professionals need that are disposable and they can move through, or the cloth ones can actually be washed and reused. Those are they have to be, the fabric has to be double layered. There's some specific requirements to make them sufficient and sustainable. But Joann's has cut out the material, and if you are a seamstress with a sewing machine and a bunch of time on your hands, like my wife has been making masks and sending them out to I've got a cousin who's a pharmacologist. My mother-in-law is a nurse. We've got a bunch of family in the healthcare field, and my wife's been sending them out masks. She even made miniature plague masks for the kids, and they love them. It's a little unnerving, actually. But if you have the skill and the capacity to do the sewing, I look up Joann's. I don't know if they're still doing it. They were doing it until quite recently. I'm not sure if this is still current because things have changed with the lockdown status in a lot of places, but they were handing out the material, and it's the fabric and the elastic straps, and what they need is for people to take the double fabric, sew it together, and put the elastics in there. And then, so if you can go you go to Joann's, you pick up the material, you bring it home, you sew all the masks, you take them back to Joann's, and Joann's sends them out where they need to go.
Yeah, and this is a serious thing. The CDC is actually flirting with recommending everybody just wears a mask in public. Because as it turns out, and this is another one of those things that the Trump administration and allies and people are saying, it's, oh man, making your own mask is stupid. It's not 100% effective. Why would you even waste your time? Well, it turns out a lot of these masks are about 70% effective.
And by the way, body armor, bulletproof vests, not 100% effective.
No, they're not. But it turns out that a lot of these masks are about 70% effective. Buddy, you want to talk about flattening the curve.
Yeah.
Let me get this straight. We could just shave IUDs. 70%.
We had an IUD in place when we conceived our fourth child. Okay?
That's like 99% effective.
That doesn't mean that nobody should use prophylactics.
Oh.
Just because I'm impervious to preventative measures doesn't mean you are.
Okay, you completely derailed me. Congratulations, sir. Anyhow, point is, you want to flatten the curve? How about shaving 70% off the top? Man, maybe we wouldn't have had to have all gone into a month-long frickety-frackin' lockdown if we just started wearing masks and shaved 70% off the top.
It's going to be 4 months.
Just a thought.
I'm actually expecting this to run through the summer.
It better not.
It will. Here's what's going to happen. Okay, prediction time, and then that'll be all I've got, and we can call it a day. Prediction time. This is going
Because
to
I'm
run
an
through the
essential
summer.
worker.
Yep, this is going to run through the summer because here's what's going to happen. In about a month, maybe two, it will be hot enough outside that the temperature, that the weather will have a strong positive effect in curtailing the number of cases. The curve will flatten. And then, out of an overabundance of caution, the lockdowns will continue for a month or so after that. But when it comes time for the public schools to open, the government will not be able to tolerate another 6 months or so of not indoctrinating the productive little automatons of the future. And so we're going to see the pandemic claims pushed through the summer. Now nothing I'm saying is intended to downplay the dangerous nature, the infectivity, the lethality, or the serious nature of what we're going through right now. But no, Rod, they will not continue the lockdowns until there's a vaccine. They will continue the lockdowns until they begin to interfere with the indoctrination system. If kids are home being raised by their families and being taught family values and experiencing what it's like to have a family, instead of just being cranked through the indoctrination factories where they're being taught grievance studies and having it called geometry, the government will not tolerate the continuance of that further than 1/2 of a school year. So school's out. School's out for summer. School's out. Nobody's going back to school until the beginning of next year. But the government, but writ large, especially since this is being handled by the state governments where teachers' unions hold a great deal of sway, they will not tolerate not lying to your children for 6 or 8 hours a day for any longer than is absolutely necessary. So we'll see the curve flatten. The weather will have an impact, and come the end of the summer, they're going to push it all the way out to the end of the summer so that the weather can take as great a toll as it can on the virus. And then at the end of the summer, come hell or high water, they will open the schools so that we can crank the lie machine back up.
Yeah, I really hope that come May 1st, we're just no. Come on. If you're immunocompromised, okay, you stay quarantined. If you're over 65, you stay quarantined. And maybe masks are just a thing in the month of May, but I mean, this is not sustainable. I mean, what are we going to do? We're going to send everybody another $2,000 check next month and then another $2,000 check in June? Like, I mean, have you heard the unemployment numbers? Like, over the past 2 weeks, there's been more than 9 million brand new unemployment claims. This is not sustainable. It's not. It's not. We're coming up on the cure's worse than the disease.
Yep.
Anyhow, that's all I got because, as I said, I'm still an essential worker. Even though our governor has ordered a statewide lockdown, I'm about to change clothes and go to work.
In an N95 mask.
Yes.
And hey, I wear a mask when I go out. And, you know, an M95, that's a good piece of equipment. But if nothing else, if you're just running to the grocery store, at least strap a bandana around your face. Even if the bandana is only 0.1% effective, if that's the best you can do, it's better than nothing. You know what's better than nothing? Anything that's not worse than nothing.
Yeah, anything that's effective. Anything. And seriously, most important thing, we've been saying it for weeks now, wash your damn hands. There is no more important step here, people. Because,
All
good
right.
God, I never understood how itchy my face was until I tried to stop scratching it.
Oh, yeah, I've caught myself scratching at my eyebrow or the side of my nose or my mustache at least a dozen times just during the filming of this episode.
Yeah, exactly. I know that I've done it a few times myself.
All right. Well, we will see y'all, hopefully, Monday morning.
All right.
Be safe out there, brother. Y'all
Yes,
take
sir.
care.
Bye-bye.
And wash your damn hands. Wash your damn hands.
Exactly. Wash your damn hands.